I'm trying to curb my enthusiasm for this next segment. That's because I'm about to speak to Larry David's TV ex-wife, Cheryl Hines, or as she's known off-screen, Mrs. RFK Jr. She's here because her real-life husband could be poised to turn our two-party political system on its head. First, let me explain. I've noted already today how former President Trump is beating President Biden in 5 out of 6 battleground states in a hypothetical matchup for the 2024 presidential race. That's the Times Siena College poll. Only 2% of registered voters in that poll said they would support another ill-defined candidate. But if Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name is specifically added to that ballot as a third option, then nearly a quarter of voters said they would choose him over Trump or Biden. RFK Jr. polling between 22 and 26% of support among swing state voters in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia. Among Gen Z and millennial voters, he's beating both Biden and Trump. And among independents in those battleground states, RFK showing a comfortable lead with 39% to Biden's 28 and to Trump's 25. So RFK Jr.'s campaign, if they're able to mobilize these young independent and swing voters, we might see a repeat of the 68 presidential race rather than the 2020 race. I refer to when independent presidential candidate George Wallace beat both the Republican and Democratic nominee in 5 states. But of course, ballot access is a major hurdle for independent candidates, not to mention motivating enough voters to turn out. Larry David himself once covered this subject on Curb.
Hey, can I ask you a personal question?
What?
Who are you voting for?
Raymond Schneider.
You're voting for Raymond Schneider? Yeah. I have a proposition for you. I'm voting for Mayu. We kind of cancel each other out. You know, this line, why don't we get the hell out of here?
I like it.
Huh? Yeah? Beautiful. Let's go.
Cheryl Hines joins me now. She's an Emmy-nominated actress, director, producer, philanthropist, comedian, businesswoman, and wife of presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Cheryl, great to have you here. You've obviously got tons on your own plate. How active a role are you playing in this campaign?
I would say pretty active. I am, definitely Bobby and I spend a lot of time talking about issues and what people need and how we're hearing from them and going around the country. And, at the end of the day, we say, oh, what I'm hearing is people are having a hard time paying their bills. They feel like Democrats and Republicans aren't paying attention to them. So we have a lot of really good discussions.
I covered the announcement in Philadelphia when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced that now he's taken a shot as an independent. You introduced him. Here's a snippet of that.
One thing I know about Bobby is if he hears that can't be done or you can't do it, it only sparks a fire in him and it makes him fight harder. So I'm here to tell you that Bobby is ready to fight for you guys. Are you ready for him to fight for you?
Curb is famously unscripted. Has that prepared you for the role of being a politician's wife?
It definitely has helped. I mean, as you can imagine, it's very unpredictable. Everything that you do day to day on the campaign trail, you don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know, where you're going until you get there. So it's been helpful. Yeah, it's been helpful.
Have you allowed yourself to think what it would be like to be First Lady of the United States? You know that we have come to expect First Ladies to have passion projects. Laura Bush, reading. Michelle Obama, I think of obesity and the garden. Jill Biden, I think of education. What would be Cheryl Hines as First Lady passion project?
Well, I've always been passionate about public schools, so I've done a lot of work in different schools around the country, going in and activating the community to get involved in that school. We've gone, we started in Compton. We did several schools there. We went to Detroit and Nashville and Las Vegas, and it's very inspiring to me because, first of all, we need to be doing better for our kids and for the teachers. But just to see the community coming together, and they actually want to help, they want to do something. And a lot of times, you know, of course they don't have the resources. But then if you organize enough people, it's really surprising and inspiring how many parents come out. Even the teachers would come out and paint their classrooms and clean the school and plant flowers and get other businesses to partner with them to donate computers and things that the school really needs. I mean, there are some really underserved schools out there, and I don't think it's fair to our kids and to the faculty.
How do your politics align with his? I mean, there was quite a story made of the fact that you distanced yourself from Bobby's comments when he invoked Anne Frank at a vax mandate rally. You tweeted, I'll put it up on the screen. You said, hey, you know, my politics, there it is. My husband's opinions are not a reflection of my own. While we love each other, we differ on many current issues. I guess that's typical of a lot of relationships and spouses, but lay it out for us. Like, where's the commonality and where's the divide?
We have 99% in common. I am a more, I get more concerned about people's feelings, I suppose. So during that time, it was very heated. It was heated with the vaccines and the masks, and I come from a place of, if it makes people feel better, just wear the mask. It's not going to hurt you. And Bobby comes from a place, you know, he's an attorney. He wants to see the facts. He wants to know why we're doing this, and is it safe, and is it okay? So that at that point in time, it was very heated. So that's where that was coming from. But, you know, Bobby is pro-choice. He's very concerned about the middle America, about working class people, and making sure that they have what they need and that they can get houses and that they can keep their jobs. And he's, you know, wants to keep the peace. So I am 100% with him on all of that.
There was a story in Variety, speaking of keeping the peace, that said that, we'll put that on the screen as well, that there was actual contemplation or an offer that he made to you, like, hey, if we need to separate just for the sake of offering you some protection, I'm willing to do it. Was that a true story? Tell us about it.
Yes, that's a true story. Well, you know, Bobby is a very caring person, and he could see that what he was doing, you know, being out there on the front line, was difficult for me, because I was hearing it from both sides during that time. The vaccines, people really liked them, people really disliked them, and I was getting it from both sides. And at some point, and he, you know, he did not want to see me go through that, and he said maybe we should we could separate. And I said, no, that's
Cheryl,
not the answer.
How concerned are you, for the obvious reasons, his name is Kennedy, he's running for president, about his personal safety? I know the audience probably knows that you want him to have Secret Service protection. That has not been afforded. How worried are you, and why do you think he hasn't been given Secret Service protection?
I'm very, very concerned because of his family's history, because of the state of the world right now. It's scary, and it's hard for me to say why he hasn't been given Secret Service, because Barack Obama got Secret Service 551 days out. Teddy Kennedy received Secret Service 441 days out. So I'm not sure why Bobby is being denied. I mean, it seems like it's political.
From reading in, I know the explanation that's offered from the administration is that one has to attain major candidate status. If the New York Times and Siena College polls that I've shown the audience are accurate, I would think that someone who's in the 20s is there. You reference President Obama. That was a, quote, unique circumstance because he was African American and was obviously a major party candidate, and there were a lot of threats. And in the case of Teddy, that was Jimmy Carter, who understood more than a year out, hey, he's a Kennedy.
Right.
And you also had an incident where somebody was on your property, right? That's
right. Yes, there have been several incidents, yes. I was actually home during that time, and I saw, it was, you know, it's very scary. And so it does seem like there are other reasons that Bobby is not getting Secret Service, because just like you said, if he does get Secret Service, then that's admitting that, yes, he's a viable candidate. And I don't think the administration wants to admit that yet, which is, it's really unfortunate. It's ridiculous.